Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we are together with a Diablo 3 video, and you will say, the timing is very weird because there is Path of Exile 12, there is Diablo 4. Well, Diablo 3 is always a game I like very much, and so there was Altar of Rites in like several seasons ago, and the player base loved it very much, so they added as a permanent thing. And I have just noticed that I haven't made a guide for it. So the Altar of Rites can be found in Act 1 here, right? Just right next to the vendors. And there are a lot of nodes in here, and in order to unlock the nodes, you have to offer something, right? It's just once, it's account wide, it's core wide. So there are 4 modes. Actually, now there are more. There is the seasonal, seasonal normal mode, seasonal softcore self-found, seasonal hardcore self-found, and all of the non-seasonal versions. So there are actually 8 cores. So the alter progress does not translate from one of those to the other, right? I mean, your alter progress. And I think the alter does not exist on non-seasonal actually. So there are 4 modes: normal mode, self-found mode, hardcore self-found mode. And generally a person is playing just one of those, right? Most of the time. So yeah, you kind of have to do this once, right? I mean, if you are playing softcore, you do it on one of your characters. The other character will have access to everything, or the other character can progress wherever this one left off. So we start with the, and as you can see, there are links here. You can just select whatever you want that you have links to, right? The cost does not change based on what you're picking, but the cost actually is fixed, right? So the first node has some cost, the second node has some cost. So no matter if you get this node as the last one, or I don't know if you get it as the 8th one, it doesn't really matter, right? What matters is which node you are unlocking, right? What number node you are unlocking. So there are different costs. So let's get into this, and there might be a little bit of a guide involved. I mean, I'm going to try to do a guide. So the first node is very simple. You offer 10 reusable parts. What that means is, you get white items and you salvage them, or they just drop the base crafting material, right? And that unlocks the first node. For the second node, you need 1 flawless diamond or better quality, 15 arcane dust, and 20 more reusable parts. I mean, you just do bounties, you get gems, and because you can offer something that is greater than flawless diamonds, that's not a problem. So guys, that second node could be this one or this one, your choice, right? Doesn't really matter. But if you want to follow the I mean, if you don't have anyone to boost you, right, and if you are doing a fresh start, this is of course better, right? I have a guide on this season leveling guide. Take a look at it. If you have no one to boost you, or if you are starting the season early on while there is no one to boost, you can handle the leveling in about 2 hours, right? There is some method using this and crafting a mighty weapon, and you just put it on and you get to 70 in about 2 hours without any help. The third node is, so the third node could be, this one, I mean, whichever you pick, or any of these 4, right? And it's of course ideal to go towards something that is one of the best ones to beeline for, right? Double the chance to find a legendary item purchased from Kadala, right? When we are gambling blood shards, there is a double chance that to get legendaries. That also is good. It actually will increase your rift and greater rift clearing time, because they will drop 1 additional orb. So that means 1% additional progress towards completion per elite, right? This is pretty good. There are a lot of good stuff, right? There are some stuff that are not good, that those can be left for last. So the third one requires 1 Great Rift Keystone and 10 Death Spreads, right? Rifts or Visions give you Great Rift Keystones. Death Spread drops everywhere in Torment difficulty. That's not a problem. For the fourth one, you need a class-specific helm, just like this one, right? Any, doesn't really matter. It can be identified, it can be non-identified. You click on the node that you want to grab, right? This is a little bit counterintuitive, so I will tell you. You click on the node that you want to grab, for example this, and there would be a button here called Sacrifice. You click on the Sacrifice, you click on the item, it will ask you to confirm, then when you sacrifice the item, the node will be unlocked. Then we have 20 Forgotten Souls and 10 of each of these, the bounty materials. So these used to be a little bit painful, but now there are the visions that drop these by the 40s, 60s, right? These are not a problem anymore. Then we have the Key Warden drops. So there are 4 Key Wardens in Acts 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? They are marked with this key icon, and since about a year or two, they also get shown in the map with this purple arrow. So there's that. You go and kill those and they drop these, the Infernal Machines. Requires 1 of each. Then we need to craft the Reaper's Wraps. Reaper's Wraps can be crafted from the blacksmith. The recipe drops from Malthael. For Jarmer Bracer, there it is. So you have to go kill Malthael just once though, and any difficulty. It's a guaranteed drop, so you can just go kill, Malthael on normal or Torment 1 or something, whatever it is your character can handle. You don't have to go high difficulties. Then we need 30 Forgotten Souls. So at this point, guys, we kinda have our pick, right? Wherever we want to go, but I would suggest going for this one. And we pick any node, and the cost is going to be this. So, if I pick this node, this node, this node, this node, whichever node it is I'm picking, the cost is going to be 30 Forgotten Souls, right? The cost doesn't change based on the node. I'm just repeating myself. Then we will require 1,100 blood shards. So that is, of course, a pseudo way of Blizzard asking you to do some solo greater rifts. Because, guys, the number of blood shards that your character can hold at one time is formulated as 500 plus the highest solo greater rift you cleared times 10. Which means in order to be able to hold 1,100 blood shards, you will have to do Great Rift 60, right? 500 plus 60 times 10, that's 600. 500 plus 600 is 1,100. So at this point, the game does not allow you to unlock additional nodes if you have not done Great Rift 60 solo. But at this point, you should have your set, and set bonuses are so insane. 70 to 80 should be, just right in the bag, so that's not a problem. Then the 10th node will require 1 Flawless Royal Ruby, right, which you craft out of these. The recipes come from bounties mostly, and that should be done by now as well. 20 Death Spread and 1 Ring of Royal Grandeur. Yeah, that could be a little bit painful, not hugely, but somewhat painful. So, every single build that does not utilize the Legacy of Dreams gem uses Ring of Royal Grandeur, right? And Ring of Royal Grandeur has a acceptable chance to drop from Act 1 bounty caches, right? You do the bounties and you get the cache, right? And has a low chance of dropping from Act 4 cache, right? So you need to get 1 for yourself, definitely, and you will need to get 1 for the altar as well. Sometimes it can take like 8 rounds or so, and in the end, if you get very frustrated, guys, what I did was, because you need 2 and it gave me a bad time both times, so what I did was, I was just going in games, I was beelining the Act 1 bounty bag, I was getting bounty bag and leaving. It's a little bit annoying to the other fellas, but because if some bounty bag is obtained, the game does not give you any new players anymore. But yeah, it is a little bit annoying. So for the 11th node, we have Flawless Royal Emerald and 30 of each of these. As I said, this used to be annoying because you had to do a lot of bounties, but now it's not that bad because, as you can see, I am having them by the hundreds. Then there is something that can, slow you down a little bit. There is an item called Ramaladin's Gift, which is used to open sockets in weapons. As you can see, I have 5 primaries there. Normally, you are allowed 4 primaries, with the exception of a few very special items. And Ramaladin's Gift is this item, and as you can see, I have a ton, right? But sometimes these just don't drop, right? I was stuck at this a few times. So you have to offer a Ramaladin's Gift and 20 Great Rift Keystones. I mean, by this time you should be able to farm Torment 16 Rifts and MVTs in Visions of Enmity. They drop from the boss levels, and from Greater Rifts, like 4 drop every from Torment 16 Rifts. So that should not be a problem. Then 1300 blood shards. If you remember what I said about the calculation, that will mean you will need to do Great Rift 80 solo. Handleable, definitely right. Just the set, and if you write items, he's definitely able to do that. Then there is something I got stuck on this season. 1 petrified scream. Petrified screams drop everywhere. They open to the portal to the Echoing Nightmare feature. Right? They are somewhat rare, and at that point, I had around 600 Paragon, and I didn't have any. So you have to wait until it drops, and there is no farming it. It just drops from everywhere. The next step is the most annoying one. Could be the most annoying one of the. So there is something called a challenge rift. Let me show you. So game settings, you go on challenge rifts, okay? And there is some very weird, weak build in here most of the time, and there is a great rift in there, and you have to complete it in a certain amount of time, right? With that build. If you succeed, the game gives you something called a challenge rift cache, right? It appears as a mail, right where my camera is, and do not right click on it or it will open, right? And your progress will be halted for about a week, right? Be very careful with that. So you have to offer it intact to the altar, right? You will go to the altar and you will click on the node and it will say sacrifice, and when you say sacrifice, it will sacrifice that. And it refreshes every week. So guys, as I said, you obtained it, 3 days left, you accidentally opened it, boom, 3 days of waiting for it. Careful. This season it happened to me. And if the challenge of cache contains, crafting materials, etc. If you want those crafting materials and open it, then again, you will have to wait 1 week. I would suggest just sacrificing this. In the very early season, it could be beneficial to use it if you are leveling yourself, but other than that, just save it. Then it will require 250 Forgotten Souls. That's a bit of a grind, but it will work out. Do Visions of Enmity, play the game, and they will accrue. Then 1400 blood shards, which is 90 Great Rift 90 solo. And at that point, of course, we are gathering all of this, and the character gets a little stronger, so Great Rift 90 should not pose a challenge. Then we have the Ancient Hellfire Amulet. The Hellfire Amulet's recipe could be brought from the Child Vendor in Act 2. Skirt. And it's being sold here. Hellfire Amulet, 5 million gold. You learn it. You teach it to this fella. It doesn't show here. As you can see, you can craft any kind, and you have to do an ancient one. So how do you do this? we killed the key wardens at the beginning for the journey, right? They will drop these machines, and you will open these machines in Act 1. In here. So you can only open them here, and there will be bosses inside, Magda and King Leoric in one, Zoltunkul and Siegebreaker in one, Gom and Rakanot in one, and finally there is Diablo in the last one. So they will drop organs, and those organs can be used to craft the Hellfire Emeralds. One word of advice though, do not use the cubes rerolling recipe, right? Because you will need those Forgotten Souls later. Just go and farm the key wardens for machines, and then farm the Uber portals for the organs. Keep repeatedly crafting this until you get the ancient one. Do not reroll, right? Because it might be required later. Because this is just easy, right? It is found. And thing is, guys, when you kill the key wardens, if you are able to handle Torment 16, and by this time the author just asked us to do Great Rift 90 solo, so you should be able to handle Torment 16 key wardens. They drop like 4 machines or so, and every single machine drops like 4 organs, right? So one full circle of farming gives you like 16, 15, something like that, amulets. And considering the chance of getting an ancient one is like 10%, yeah, you should be keeping at it, and definitely not rerolling. And that was node number 18. We are getting there. So on the node number 19, it will require 4 pages from us. Let me show you how that's done. It's quick. I can show you. Okay. We just penetrate into Leoric's Manor. This was added later on to the game. That's not it. Looks a little confusing. What's up with the character? That's it. Tome of Set Bindings. So guys, I click on it and I get set page 92. And thing is, there are 4 base sets for each class. There was one more added later on for Necromancer, which is what I'm playing right now. We have Inarius, we have Tragul, we have Ratma, and we have Pestilence. This one is added later on. This doesn't count. So these 4, OGs, when you wear them and click on the thing, it will give you a page, right? So for example, my Inarius gave me page 92, right? And let me just show it quickly. I'm equipping only 5 because I have Ring of Royal Grandeur at work, and just having the full set is enough. See, 85. And it will ask you for these 4 pages, right? Your own classes set. So which means you need to have those basic sets in full, or if you have Ring of Royal Grandeur, and you should have Ring of Royal Grandeur, 5 pieces from them, so that's why you should save them. And this one will just not provide a page, so you cannot have this one, and this one. It will not work because, as I said, this is not part of the OGs, so it doesn't count, right? Okay, now comes my dread. That's node number 20, guys, and it requires an ancient puzzle ring and 50 of each of these bounty materials. So people don't get stuck on this one, but I do, for some unknown reason, guys. So what you should do for this is, get an ancient puzzle ring. Definitely don't open the ancient vault and keep it, right? Because it will make you cry. I know how good it is to do an ancient vault, earlier on, but take my advice for this, save it, right? And if you are like me and you don't get those, you should save regular puzzle rings, right? And what you should do is reroll them with the Forgotten Souls that I urge you to save. See? keep a normal one, and keep re-rolling that. So my problem is, guys, I mean, I get really very unlucky with this, and I have to do like 25, 30 rerolls or something. And you know, this is 10%, should be like 10 rerolls. And the bounty materials part is not a problem, but the 50 forgotten souls, as you can see, I'm dry. The 50 forgotten souls part is very draining. It can get very frustrating. I actually had to quit the season like that, right? I mean, I arrived at that, right? I did like 50 rerolls or something. I just couldn't get an ancient, and it wouldn't drop. So I had to, you know, stop progressing the altar there. This season I had something similar, about 20 to 25 rolls or something. I was able to get through. Then we have 500 death spread and 300 forgotten souls. That's a grind, but of course it's handleable. Then we are asked to do 1500 blood shards, which means Great Rift 100 solo. And we had done 90, right, for a previous stage. And at this point we are leveling our gems in our accessories. We are doing Kaldezans on our items. We are replacing our gear. We get stronger and stronger, so 100 is not a problem. Then you need a level 125 Whisper of Atonement. Whisper of Atonement is the thing that you get from Echoing Nightmares, right? You do the Petrified Scream, you open the realm, and according to whatever realm, whatever tier you could reach, it will drop a Whisper of Atonement. I don't think I have any Whisper of Atonements, but you know, it's a kind of like tier-shaped thingy that drops from finishing those. And 125 is the cap. I mean, even if you can go to 150, it will drop a 125. If you are not playing solo mode, I would advise you to, you know, team up with someone, you die, etc., and try to do a rotation. So, you know, even if you fail, there are multiple thingies. But at this point, our character handled 100 solo, right? And there are the four pylons there, and you know what you should do is something like, you know, get to 100 or so on your own, and then do the 4 pylons. And you should also have, I mean, if you are doing solo, you should have the Flavor of Time for double pylon durations, and that would carry you to 125. Then you have to sacrifice an augmented weapon. I mean, you could either use Whisper of Atonement, or you could sacrifice a legendary gem to augment your weapon, you know, like this. For example, I use the Whisper of Atonement here, but you can just use a regular legendary gem, like, you know, this. This one won't be sufficient, of course, because weapons require level 50. So the weapon has to be ancient, keep that in mind, because you cannot augment it otherwise, and the gem has to have a minimum level of 50. You can just, you know, level a bad legendary gem, or you could use your trusty old Bane of the Powerful, which you have to level a little bit at the beginning of the season. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Then comes the grind. You need the Staff of Herding, which I think warrants its own video because it requires a lot of farming. That is the really most annoying part. And finally, we will have 1600 blood shards, which requires you to do Great Rift 110 solo. As you can see, I have managed it. Everything is unlocked for me. So that will also be not a problem given how strong the characters are these days. And so that is it for these 26 nodes. These 3 are special though. So these 3 are not part of that. So you arrive at one of these 6 nodes, and this will be up for grabs. And the way that you unlock these does not fall in line with the cost system I just told you. You have to pay 55, 110, and 165 primordial ashes respectively for these nodes, right? The first one will cost 55. Again, the which one you are unlocking doesn't really matter. The number that you unlock matters. So the first one will cost 55 primordial ashes, the second one will cost 110, and the third one will cost 165. What are primordial ashes? You get them from salvaging primal ancient items, right? That's the only way to get them. And every single primal ancient item that you salvage gives you 55. So that means the altar will require a total of 6 primal ancient items from you to be fully unlocked. Right? That's it. And you are only given one. The first time you do Great Rift 70 or higher solo, then you have a guaranteed primal ancient drop. Otherwise, it's grinding. And primal ancient items are 40 times rarer than regular ancient items, which means they are 400 times as rare as regular unique items. And you know, when you farm for a long time and you don't get any, this can cause a little bit of frustration. What my advice is, you know, this is just, you know, a mindset. You can't do anything about your luck, of course. What I do is, so guys, I have a bit of inventory space, as you can see here. I just wait for about, you know, 10 times filling this in order to, you know, deserve, in air quotes, primal drop. And these give you something about your potion. This one, I would say this one is the first one. When you drink your potion, you gain a random shrine effect. And thing is, guys, if you combine this with Gloves of Worship, which increases the shrine duration to 10 minutes, take a look at this. See, now I have 25% movement speed and 25% reduced damage, right? 10 minutes, kind of like permanent, right? Whenever you drink your potion, you get one of those. That's a pretty nice one. Then we have this one, or this one. When you drink your potion, there is a 25% damage penalty on all enemies. That's also good. And this one creates a circle on the ground. The pink one is damage, I think. There is a green one and a blue one, I think. Blue one is cooldown reduction. I mean, it is not very easy to stand on those, so yeah. But of course, it's not bad. And guys, when you unlock all 26 nodes and all of these 3 nodes that are constructed with primal ancient items, this one unlocks for free. And take a look at this. Yeah, beautiful. Whenever you get a primal ancient item, another drops, which basically doubles your primal ancient drop. And it works for even Kadala, right? I mean, when you gamble something from Kadala, right, and with this upgrade, your chances of hitting a primal ancient item from Kadala is about 1 in 2,000. So if you keep gambling 25 blood shard items, 50,000 will give you 2 primal ancient items. Yeah. But of course, you know, if you just unlock this and, you know, quit, that, of course, it's not very efficient, but yeah. So that's why that's what we are looking for. And the upgrades are pretty nice as well, right? 5% elite damage, 10% uncapped movement speed, additional damage, grab a shield, increased damage elites, increased damage against bosses, reduced damage taken. So there are also, you know, stuff like this, quality of life stuff like pets pick up death's breath, right? I mean, this is pretty nice stuff, right? So this is altogether awesome, right? The bonuses themselves are good. The potion bonuses are very nice. Double primals are very nice. So it is absolutely worth it. That's how it's done. And I know that I have skipped the stuff of herding part, but guys, the stuff of herding is not, you know, in air quotes again, simple like the stuff I told you, right? It requires its own thing because it is a lengthy process of farming. I will do another video on it. So that's how the altar is done. I know this is, you know, very late, but I thought I had an altar guide. I just didn't. So that's why I want to upload one. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.